Hey everybody, this is your daily dose of all things royal. Welcome back, my gorgeous good-looking friends. I was debating on talking about this latest PR stunt as to that is what Meghan wants us to do. However, since everyone has covered it, I figure I might as well too give a perspective, and possibly a perspective that no one else has talked about yet. It is a well known fact Meghan stages photo ops, and we all know she scripts everything out to the last detail to push her false narratives. It is also a fact Meghan creates whatever story she wants the world to believe. Her reality does not convince my perspective on my interpretation of her reality. Look, if we're going to live in this clown world, then we're going to have to play the game better. And that means giving them back a taste of their own medicine. Meghan's reality doesn't convince me in my reality on how I see things. My interpretation is Meghan is a liar and manipulator, and that is what I feel when I see this photo that was put out by her people into the public domain for public consumption. The way I see it, the timing of this photo was dropped on cue to take attention away from the king and queen in Kenya. I also think it served another purpose, and that was to hit back at King Charles for the dig he made by mentioning Catherine in such an affectionate way. This photo was designed to hurt the king because they won't let him meet these grandkids. And this is my opinion. I do believe Meghan scrambled to come up with something to hit back in this manner. Do you think that the king cares? No, I personally don't think so. But in their minds, they think that they're so important that the king is crying over not getting a chance to get to know his grandchildren. I personally don't think that that's the case, and I highly doubt any of the family are losing sleep over it. When we look at this photo, there are solid indicators that this was not taken on this year's Halloween. If we are to believe, let's say, this is Harry and Meghan and it is present day, then the woman, in my opinion, is not her because this woman has a lot more weight than what Meghan has now. And I think many people have pointed that out already. So it's logical to draw the conclusion that either it is not Meghan or this photo was taken when Meghan was thicker. I'm going to believe the latter. Meghan had a considerable amount of weight towards the end of year 2021. And what we started to see was this drastic weight loss around August 2022. So if I had to put my money on what transpired, I would say this is leftover footage that didn't make it in the Netflix mockumentary. And I believe it was staged at that time to have something to show in the series. Remember, there had been rumors going around that they didn't have enough content, and the previous director had quit because Meghan and Harry didn't want to film more at home. It's not a far stretch to believe that this was set up to make it look like it was Halloween for the series. I mean, Meghan does live in Hollywood. Take a moment and look at the surroundings. No one is in a costume except for a child extra in a tiger costume. Neither the child or the blonde lady is carrying a bag for candy. In fact, this kid is holding a cracker, which is not very Halloween. It just looks like a snack to keep him happy. Also, the toddler doesn't know any better and could be dressed up like any other day, as some parents do this because they are kids. Kids like to dress up and play make-believe all year round, so this could have been any time. I believe what we're seeing here is little Betty dressed up in her skunk costume from 2021, which explains why her head looks black and what appears to be a black tail hanging out at the bottom. Here's what one of those costumes would look like. This would explain why she's wearing pink pants and possibly wearing a pink jacket. The reason why Archie is not wearing a costume, if we are to believe Meghan from The Ellen Show, Archie doesn't like to wear costumes.
This Halloween, we were like, this is your chance. You can go out. You can get dressed up and actually go out. But y'all chose to stay home this year.
We were home and we saw you guys, which was great. But no, we wanted to do something fun for the kids. And then the kids were just not into it at all. Archie was a dinosaur for maybe 5 minutes.
Not even 5 minutes.
Not even 5 minutes.
Finally, Harry talked him into putting the head on. But Lily was a skunk.
She was a little skunk.
It was so cute.
I know, like Flower from Bambi.
With every lie that Meghan tells, there's always one small element of truth. Hence why I believe it is possible that this is them. I believe that Meghan and Harry didn't take their kids out to trick-or-treat in October of 2021. I also believe perhaps maybe Archie and little Betty both have some type of social anxiety, considering that they're never out in public seen socializing with any kids their age. In fact, it does appear that these two kids are isolated from the world. So, in this situation, it's not far off to think that this was a controlled environment in which it was staged to look like they were going trick or treating. However, when you look around, there's not many people, as well as no indication elsewhere of this being Halloween, aside from the fact perhaps maybe a child extra dressed in a costume. Also, when we look at this picture, Megan would have had that SpongeBob square frame that is pronounced from the back during that time. Another thing that alludes me to believe that this is sometime in the year of 2022 is the bodyguard. Now, many people say that they didn't see a bodyguard. I kind of challenge that because there is a person of color seen a little bit ahead of Harry to the side who is bald. And yes, Meghan and Harry did have a bodyguard who looked like that. However, he's no longer with them because of some questionable behavior that he had with his wife. So it could explain why we don't see this guy anymore. In any case, it's reasonable to think that this was done in 2022 when they were getting footage for the Netflix mockumentary, and that they used it as a publicity stunt. I mean, let's deduce this to common sense and logic. You mean to tell me that these kids haven't grown? Or we could look at it from the other way. You mean to tell me that Lily shrunk from July 4th? Nobody's buying any of this because this is what they do. And unfortunately for them, anything they put forward will not be trusted. They cried wolf too many times, and should the day come for them to tell the actual truth, no one is going to believe or trust them. For me, all credibility is lost, and people see Meghan for what she is, as she stated so honestly and authentically that she is such a fraud. Which now this is a great segue into raising this new perspective and my reality, as well as the majority of folks who watch my video from yesterday. I am now 99.999999999% positive Meghan lied about being pregnant with little Betty. I'm now going to direct back to a clip from the Oprah interview in which all of us have watched it God knows how many times. But this time, after doing this video, I saw something that I didn't see before. I want you all to listen closely to what she says, and at the same time, watch what she does when she says it.
I would have loved to have had siblings. That's why I'm so excited to be pregnant, is that Archie has someone.
That's why I'm so excited to be pregnant, is that Archie has someone.
She says, that is why I'm so excited to be pregnant, so that Archie has someone. It's widely known that one of the character traits in order to detect if someone is lying is that they tend to give more information than necessary. I think we can all agree, was it really necessary to state the obvious if she really was pregnant? The more believable statement would have been, I'm excited Archie's going to have someone soon. The only reason to add the obvious of stating that she's pregnant is to overemphasize a lie that she's trying to convince the world to believe, which I don't believe it. At the same time, in conjunction with saying this statement, Meghan's eyes avoid Oprah, which is another indication of being deceitful. Watch it again and you decide for yourself.
That's why I'm so excited to be pregnant, is that Archie has someone.
Given Meghan's documented track record of lying, I am 99.999999999% convinced she lied about this pregnancy. This is my feeling and the way I see things. Just like Meghan, I live in the United States of America, and I have the freedom to express my thoughts and opinion, as it's my God-given right. I don't have to believe what she says, and neither do you. Okay, moving on to the last thing I want to talk about in this video, and that is this week's Star Magazine article or cover story of Meghan and Harry at a breaking point. Now, knowing what we know, and Star Magazine is a preferred outlet that Meghan gives stories to, we can assume that this is coming from Meghan's side. Not even anymore Meghan and Harry's side. This is coming from Meghan as her own entity. And I'll explain to you what I'm seeing in a second. We are beginning to see Meghan's go-to magazines in which they're pushing this narrative of how Meghan has been so stressed out and carrying a lot of the weight to get deals done and, get the brand back on track and blah, blah, blah. Almost as if she's doing all the work, making Harry look like a deadbeat dad. Well, this article is no different. What it looks like to me is that Meghan is setting the stage for when she does finally separate and divorce Harry. Now, like I've said in the past, I believe that they're already separated. This is all for show. I believe there's some nasty things going on behind the scenes that we're not privy to, and we're going to see this get more and more aggressive as time goes on. So get your popcorn, folks, but in the meantime, let's rip this article apart. It begins. On the morning of October 13th, Prince Harry and wife Meghan Markle took a stroll through the Sandy Lane Yacht Club Resort on Canoan Island, a small 3.2-mile islet in the Caribbean known for its white sandy beaches and luxe lodgings. The pair were spotted by a passerby as they left a gourmet food store, but despite their stunning surroundings, their body language appeared tense as they made a clumsy attempt to hold hands during their walk. So considering that there's no video, you mean to tell me that this writer got the whole story from this one picture? According to a source, Meghan, the tropical getaway was a make-or-break trip for Harry, 39, and Meghan, 42, who have yet to find their footing in the U.S. since leaving their royal duties in Harry's native England behind in 2020. The source, Meghan, tells Star Meghan is especially stressed over their failed business dealings and financial worries, and it's causing major friction at home. The tension has been building, says the source, Meghan. On the surface, Meghan and Harry seem to have it all, their Montecito mansion, 2 beautiful children, and well-connected friends. But they're realizing it's not enough. So this is an indicator on how we know that Meghan is behind this article. You see, when you're dealing with people like Meghan, nothing will ever be enough. This woman had it all, and it still was not enough for her. She wanted more. So when you're dealing with greedy little goblins like this, it doesn't matter how much they have achieved. They're still going to look and want what other people have. Hence the reason why she's so fixated on William and Catherine. It doesn't matter what Harry does. This woman will never be satisfied or happy. And of course, as it says here, Meghan feels like she's pulling all the weight. I'm convinced the reason why they haven't really produced anything of substance is because they're so focused on managing their so-called brand and all these puff pieces and trying to keep up with clapping back with all her critics. Definitely is exhausting, and I'm sure Harry is checked out because this woman is out of control with the media. Continuing on, rude awakening. The former Suits star had big dreams when she and her prince relocated in California. Early on, they were wooed by popular streaming services and were signing multi-million-dollar deals with Netflix and Spotify, not to mention Harry's book deal. Meghan and Harry thought things would keep going in that profitable direction indefinitely, said the source. But in June, the same month it was confirmed Meghan's podcast Archetypes would not be renewed for a second season, their partnership with Spotify abruptly ended. I believe early on, Meghan felt that just by having this Duchess title was enough. She wasn't going to have to do any work and everybody else was going to do it for her while she doesn't lift the finger. I think Meghan honestly saw that by marrying into the royal family, she was going to take being an influencer to the next level. Meaning that anybody and everybody is going to want to do brand deals with her, and all she would have to do is just either be a face or send out a tweet or show a post, and that was going to be it. I don't think she realized that she was going to have to work if she was dreaming of this billion-dollar empire. Hence the reason why I believe all of this has collapsed. If you are a hardworking person and you were given this opportunity, this shouldn't have fallen down. Now, when you think about it, Meghan truly is a shallow individual because her greed and envy clouded her judgment, and also her narcissism clouded the judgment of not recognizing that she had it all. I mean, think about it. How many people in this world would want to never have to worry about money ever again? You mean to tell me she couldn't shut her mouth for a couple of years and do the job? I would be like, yes, whatever you need me to do. You mean to tell me I don't have to worry about a roof over my head and having to pay rent or mortgage, or having someone prepare my meals for me, or have someone pick out my outfits and have everything lined out so I don't even have to think? What a stupid, dumb woman. Hey, you don't miss the water until the well runs dry, and I guarantee you she's pretty thirsty right now. Anyhow, let me continue. Publicly, they were raked over the coals. Shortly after the Spotify announcement was made, United Talent Agency CEO Jeremy Zinner called Megan not a great audio talent, or necessarily any kind of talent, while a Spotify exec called them grifters. No, that's wrong. He called them fucking grifters, for what it's worth. Then in May, they were ridiculed for claiming they'd been involved in a near catastrophic car chase with the paparazzi for more than 2 hours following an event in New York City. Between the lost deals and all the media scrutiny, it's been an uphill battle for Meghan and Harry, notes the source. Someone, please cue in the tiny violin because I don't feel sorry one bit. Karma is just getting started, believe it. Growing resentment. Here we go. This is where Meghan starts to shift all the blame onto Harry. Meghan blames Harry for their predicament, explains the source. It's dawned on her that his work experience was mostly limited to shaking hands at royal events. Now, this was a personal dig at Prince Harry. Harry's never had a real career other than his royal duties and his time in the armed forces, says the source. While Meghan was used to working 14-hour days, 6 days a week on her TV series, Harry's job was to show up, smile at people, and make small talk. You see how she belittled him in this one little section? Like, Meghan wants to make it look like she has this strong work ethic and putting the blame of being lazy onto Harry. Now, I can see that Harry also has these tendencies, but Meghan wants to take no accountability for the mess that they are currently in. Also, this is another backhanded way for Meghan to insult the monarchy because, as an extension to Harry, you're talking about the duties of Prince William, Catherine, King Charles, Queen Camilla, Sophie. I mean, essentially insulting the royal family for not being as hardworking as Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. As a result, the California native has been the driving force behind their brand. Well, I think that's kind of obvious. Meghan's the one working with the agents and managers and studios because she knows how deals are made, said the source. While Harry's learned a lot from Meghan, he still doesn't totally get it. Watching her husband fail has been hard for Meghan. Harry's just not a take charge kind of person. As a royal and a military man, he followed orders, adds the source. He still has people to do footwork for him. The real decision making is done by Meghan. I don't think anybody's questioning this. Meghan has been making the decisions from the very beginning, and we've seen how Meghan has reduced Harry to pretty much her handbag. I mean, this one, now Harry is not even called by his name or even husband. He's now this one. And this article is designed to make Meghan look like the one who people want to talk to and work with, at the same time also attacking Prince Harry's character because she knows that the only reason why the door's open is because of him. They don't want Meghan, but they want Harry. And by doing this hit piece against her own husband is to essentially try and cut him down so she can build herself up. It's not the fairy tale she envisioned when they wed in 2018. Marrying a prince should be a dream come true. Meghan expected to be adored by all, but the reality of her situation has not been all pleasant, notes the source. She's taken the brunt of the negative publicity, which bothers her. Little girls may look up to her as a real live princess, but no one else seems to. Oh my God, Meghan, keep telling yourself the only reason why these little girls that you think look up to you is because they don't know any better, and you somehow manage to get your grubby little claw on them. Okay, let me hurry up and finish this propaganda because by now I'm sure all of you feel like vomiting. Under pressure. Together, they become more guarded, mainly socializing with a small circle of A-list friends and local parents. Harry and Meghan definitely wonder who their real friends are and who will respect their privacy and who will gossip about them. Why do you care, Meghan? I thought you didn't read tabloids or go online and have social media. Oh, right, that was another lie. They can't totally be themselves except when they're alone. The parents of Archie 4 and little Betty 2 were hoping to reconnect after some one-on-one time in the Caribbean. They desperately needed this break from their responsibilities, the kids' schedules, and everything else going on in their lives, says the source. Oh my God. Ah! Oh my God. Who do they think is going to believe this tripe? Does anybody really think that these two, let's say they are these so-called kids, that they have the same pressures and stresses as parents who work actual jobs, who have to try and make ends meet? I mean, you can't make this up. Like, for us to now feel sorry for Megan because she's now taking on all the work because Harry's such a deadbeat dad and she is the one trying to wheel and deal. Like, this just is like, just go away, please. Like, I almost don't even want to finish this because this is so ridiculous, but we're almost there. Anyhow, it says they desperately needed to take this break from their responsibilities, the kids' schedules, and everything else going on in their lives, says the source. Of course, it didn't solve all their problems, the source adds, noting that money woes are weighing on them heavily. There's a very real threat that they could be facing a financial nightmare unless things start to change very soon. Yeah, not buying it. Sorry, Megan. Fighting back, I guess this is rebranding. What number are we on right now? They're not giving up just yet. The source says Meghan and Harry didn't take kindly to being labeled grifters back in June. After that accusation, they held their heads high and will continue to do so, says the source. For them, it's always a matter of quality over quantity. Oh boy, they feel they've put their heart and souls into their projects and have been working hard, and they're not going to let some executive burst their bubble. They're too good for that. Oh yes, Megan, you are too good for all of us. You need to go off and get your own kingdom. Go on now, go on. I hear that there's a place somewhere in Turkey where there's like 700 castles and they're all empty and abandoned. So why not go ahead and resettle there with your squad so you can have your la la Disneyland that you've always dreamed of. You could be queen of the Meghan Kingdom, and your Megan's morons can go ahead and worship you and adore you just like what you expected when you had joined the royal family. Maybe then your dreams will come true. I think banishing Meghan off to this kingdom so she can go ahead and rule in her little la la Disneyland is a win-win for humanity. But what do you guys think? Definitely leave your thoughts below. And you know it, as always, I will be back with more content. But until then, please be safe, and I will talk to you later. Bye.
It was such a fraud.